Okay, so I'm not sure if you want to go first and talk about millionaire mindset or if it's better for me to talk about the opposite of a millionaire mindset. What were you thinking?
It is completely up to you. I didn't know, like, because you said that you had you did a presentation.
Yeah. Well,
I appreciate you.
maybe if you want to go first since you're
Okay.
live as well.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
works.
So let me
Um,
allow you to share screen.
okay. All right, let's share my screen and maybe not. Obviously, I have way too many windows open, as you guys can see.
Go.
Oh, where's my presentation? Let's go here. I'm really excited about this one because I used pictures from my trip that I just took. So,
Oh, really? That looks heavenly. It does not look like one of your own pictures.
right? Isn't it so beautiful?
It
I wish
is.
I could put this on TikTok so you guys could see my amazing presentation, but I don't know how to do that. Um, all right, so this week, level up. What is a millionaire mindset? I got this topic from a conversation that I was having with my mother. So we were talking about the workbooks that I've created, and she was saying, maybe you should change the name from a millionaire mindset to something else because a millionaire just sounds like money, right? Like my focus is about money. But that is not that's not my intention behind it. So what is a millionaire mindset? And it might be different to everybody, but for me, it's more than money. It's about abundance, freedom, and alignment. So I say, my son always says, um, Mom, I want to have a yes day where I can't say no to him. It has to be yes to everything that he says. Where I like to say, how about I just give you a yes life? Like, I want to be able to have a yes life. So that means having the wealth, having the health, the relationships, and the resources to live without the financial constraints. So I want to be able to go to the grocery store and not have to worry, okay, how am I going to get to the grocery store? I don't have enough money for gas and then to buy the things that my son wants. So a yes life is just being able to have everything that I desire available. And it's also living from inspired action, not fear. So in our other calls that we've had, we talk about scarcity mindset versus your higher self living what's the word that I want to use? I think it's just scarcity mindset versus listening to your higher self. So you're not necessarily surviving, you're thriving in life. So this brings me back to my favorite most thing that I've created, which is the 2.0 worksheet, because everything goes back to the identity shift of who you are now and who you want to become. So, do you know what a millionaire mindset is to you? Do you know what a yes life is? Do you know like what you want your life to be? If you don't, make a note so you can get clear on the intention of exactly what it is that you want. So act like the person you want to be. It's not about faking it until you make it, but it's about being intentional on what it is that you desire and then stepping into your higher self. So on the 2.0 worksheet that I have, that I put in the group, and it's also available on my stand store, is what quality it helps you create the qualities, the habits, and the lifestyle that you want. What do you want for yourself? So, okay, I have this millionaire My millionaire mindset is I want to live my yes life. But what does Erin look like with that millionaire mindset? What qualities do I have? How do I dress? How do I wake up in the morning? How do I go to bed at night? What's my morning routine? Do I meditate? Do I work out every day? What do I eat? All of these are huge factors in what you're trying to create for yourself. So, getting clear is the first thing that you have to do. You have to identify the changes that you want to make in yourself, and then the how comes later on. Your brain your brain adapts to the actions that you repeatedly take. So once you are aware of who it is that you're trying to become and you take the actions where it's like, okay, well, my millionaire mindset, she or he wants to meditate every day. Start taking the actions to make that a quality that you inspire every day. It's an action. You have to start taking the actions, which comes really easy after you plant the seed and knowing that, okay, I want to make a change. How do I do it? So, thought plus feeling plus inspired action equals manifestation. This is on the bottom of all of my workbooks because this is what I truly believe is the key to manifestation. Thoughts shape your belief. Are you focused on fear or are you focused on gratitude? You have a thought, you have a feeling that comes from that thought, and then you have the option to have inspired action or just stay wherever you are in that moment. So the feeling creates the energy, and that's what's going to align you um, with the identity that you're in that day. So if I woke up this morning and I said, today's going to be a really shitty day, um, that's the way that my day is going to go. I'm going to feed off of that versus if I wake up and I say, like, what are my first thoughts that I'm thinking? I train my brain to think, gratitude. My morning routine is I go right into meditation as soon as I wake up and I just visualize for at least the first 10 minutes of me being awake into the day that I want to have, the person that I'm trying to be. How can I be better than who I was yesterday? What changes do I want to implement today? And I see myself doing that throughout the day. That's how I start my morning. So I wake up with this feeling knowing that today is going to be a great day because I already have a plan. I already have a vision of who I'm going to be. And now I'm going to take inspired action and step into her. So, inspired action is what bridges the gap between desire and reality. Like I said last week, manifestation isn't just about wishing, it's about creating the you that already has the desire that you're stepping into. You have to step into that identity. The power of a full body yes. So I know that I've said a lot of times before what my definition of a full body yes is, but this picture right here is a full body yes for me. That is a full body yes. I was in nature, I was with the waterfalls. Everything about this picture shouted yes to me. Um, Everybody's full body yes is going to be different, but we all have that intention inside of us to know when something like when your hair stands up on the back of your neck and you're like, I'm not going to go that way, or that's not a good idea. I'm not going to do that. That is the complete opposite of what a full body yes is. Once you recognize what it is that you want in life, um, what you want in every level of your life, trusting the pull of that intuition, which is what's going to bring you into alignment. Am I going to trust my higher self? This feels really good, but man, it's scary and I haven't been here before, so I don't trust that it's the right decision. You have to trust that pull. You have to trust that full body yes and know that it's guiding you to a place of freedom. So release resistance by choosing what feels right. I always say if it doesn't resonate with you, then it's a no. Like if it's not a hell yes, then it's a fuck no. Like that's like where I stand at. Reset your factory default settings. And by this I mean this is how you rewire it's hot. Your mindset, your old habits, your old limiting beliefs, changing, making changes. It's leveling up. We'll just say that because changes sounds like a more aggressive word than I want to use. But every day that you wake up, you start with a new day and you have the choice to choose how your day is going to go. Think about a day that you woke up and you got this phone call from somebody and it just made your day so much better. Maybe they told you that you were getting a raise at work. Maybe they said, um, I just transferred you $500. Whatever. We've had those instances that change our day like that. And it can happen any day, but you have to choose. Like, do I want to wake up today and be in yesterday's energy? Do I want to wake up today stressing about tomorrow's energy? Or do I just want to stay present and be deliberate in the choices that I'm making today? Because my thoughts that I choose today are going to create my beliefs that are going to get me through today. So you're shifting from reacting to a situation to creating what it is that you want for yourself. What do you want from today? We're not worried about yesterday. Tomorrow hasn't happened. How can we make today the best day possible? This picture is so cute. So the 7 levels of why. This is the other thing that I always go back to. This turtle was so cute. He was living his best life. Look at his face. I'm sorry, TikTok, you guys can't see it, but it's really cute. So understanding your desires on a deeper level. What is your why? What is your why in everything that you do though? So when you wake up in the morning, if you automatically go to fear and judgment or shame, whatever it is that you go to in the morning, ask yourself, why do I go here? I have a choice of how I'm going to live today. Why am I choosing these thoughts? Everything that you do throughout the day, you should ask yourself why. Why am I doing this? Am I doing this from a level of love or am I doing this from a level of lack? So you actually get to peel back the layers to uncover what motivates your soul. What is inside of you that's making you choose every choice that you do throughout the day? Are you listening to your higher self or are you listening to your ego? So aligning with your goals, that's the true fulfillment. Um, a good question is how often do you make goals? Do you make weekly goals? Do you make daily goals? Do you have monthly goals? And if you don't, and this is on both professionally and um, personally, I would say I would challenge you. I would challenge you to say you should make goals for yourself. You should have weekly goals, monthly goals, and even like 4 to 6 months, I would say is a good one. And then of course, like you have your year's resolutions, but challenge yourself. What do you want from yourself for today? What do you want from yourself for this week? Scarcity versus abundance mindset. So scarcity, we talked about this the last couple of weeks. And I feel like all of this, it feels like it is repetitive, but if you guys aren't feeling that change, especially since coming to Katrina and I's calls, then we're not beating it in hard enough for you. Because if you're doing the weekly challenges and you're taking the time to really focus on what we're saying, scarcity should not even be a part of your mindset at all. So you can never hear this enough, even if I say it weekly, because it's going to be something that I continue to say. So knowing the difference between scarcity and abundance. So scarcity, there's not enough. I have to struggle. Abundance are, the thoughts of opportunities are limitless. Wealth flows to me. And I've coached a lot of people that say affirmations just seem very misleading to them because they'll say it, but then in their head they're like, wealth doesn't flow easy to me. So I challenge you to find affirmations that work for you because when you think about it, opportunities are limitless. They really are. All opportunities are limitless. You just have to choose what is in alignment with you. So I really challenge you guys to push back and question yourself. Question that voice in your head with love, not judgment. Your mindset is going to determine what you attract. So millionaires take inspired action. And remember, when I'm talking about a millionaire mindset, I'm not just talking about financially. I'm talking about a millionaire mindset is one who let's say I just walked outside and the car to my battery was dead. And then I looked down and I also noticed that my tire is flat. In this moment, I have a choice to react and have those feelings of, oh my gosh, this is always happening to me. Or I can take a moment and say, all right, this is trying to teach me something. What can I learn from this? But millionaire mindset, is all about the perspective. What is your perspective in this moment? So success is not just visualization. You have to take action. Consistency in your beliefs, actions, and decisions. So this is the whole 2.0 you. Once you know who you are, what are you doing consistently? How are you showing up for yourself? And what beliefs do you believe now? And what beliefs would you like to believe? Like, are there things that you want to change? Small steps. I'm telling you, if you guys just take 3 minutes a day and do the 7 day challenges that we provide for you, it will change your life around. It doesn't have to be huge. Gratitude versus wealth when it comes to alignment. So, the other thing that I'll say is if you guys are having a day, whether you're stuck in traffic or you're just at home and you're having negative thoughts, do you have a list of something that you can look at of like 5 things that can raise your energy? Whether it's something that you're grateful for, if it's a video of your family, your friends, maybe a trip you've gone on. Is it a wish list that you have? Is it a to-do list? Like, I'm going to live in Dubai. So here's what my apartment looks like. And regardless of where I'm at right now, standing with my car that the battery's dead and my tire's flat, I'm going to choose to imagine my apartment in Dubai because it raises my energy. So gratitude amplifies abundance. When you're in that mindset, you're sending out to the universe the higher vibration, which then is going to be a magnetic field back to you. But you have to be aware of your thoughts and you have to know what's going to raise your vibration because, like, what raises my vibration is completely different from what raises Katrina's um, energy level. So you have to know what works for you. Shift from wanting to already having. When you create that 2.0 you know who you are and you have to act. You have to make little changes so you see improvement every day of I already know that I'm this person. I already know that I have these beliefs. One thing that I write in my journal every day is I am so happy and grateful now that. And then I write out whatever it is that I'm manifesting like I already have it. So the shift can start today. And even if I know that it's later for you guys, it's evening. So it doesn't have to be morning. You can do this at any point. But every morning that you wake up and every night that you go to sleep, you can decide who do I want to be tomorrow? If today didn't work out the way that you chose for it to work out, then replan it in your head. Go through the day and change everything that you didn't like about today into your dream day or something that could have gone better and go to sleep thinking about that instead of thinking about how everything went wrong. So, what thoughts, feelings, and actions align with your yes life? What does your yes life look like? I know that, like, with the challenges you guys have, I do prompts for you guys to do every day. But if that's not in alignment with you, then write down what your yes life looks like. What does it look like for you? If you had $1 million, let's say tomorrow, I can guarantee you that there's going to be $1 million in your account. What would your day look like? From would you be buying a new house? Would you be traveling? Would you be paying off debt? Like, what would you do? What does a yes day, what does a yes life look for you? And then just remember, you're the director of your book. You are the creator of your reality. So commit to aligning to your thoughts, your emotions, and actions. Use the 7 day challenge to reinforce the transformation and start living your yes life today. So, like I said, if there's things in the challenges that don't resonate with you, find something that does. Just even if it's as small as how could I have made today better? Go to sleep thinking about how tomorrow is going to be better than what it was today. All right, Katrina. That is all I got for today. I was trying to keep it short because I know that I'm excited to hear your presentation.
That was perfect though. I think it really does go hand in hand with what I chose to make a presentation of, which is the scarcity mindset and imposter syndrome. Do you know what it is, Hada? No. Well, this is definitely something that I've been having a hard time with myself. Maybe not too much of the scarcity mindset, but I do believe a lot of people do have um, can feel stuck in a scarcity mindset. So I thought it would be relevant comparing it to a millionaire mindset. But when it comes to imposter syndrome, that's something that I've been feeling once I started this. I think I've always had some kind of form of imposter syndrome. Um, so I definitely thought that that could be informative and educational to go through. So I'm just gonna share my screen and then we'll jump right into it. So I kind of stole your your slide. I hope that's okay, but it looks good. So millionaire mindset versus scarcity mindset and imposter syndrome. So what that really means. Let me just see if I can get myself on the screen because I kind of there I am. Okay, good. Um, let's see. Okay. So, millionaire mindset versus scarcity mindset and imposter syndrome. Did she disappear? I don't know if she's still there. Okay. Let's try this again. Millionaire mindset versus scarcity mindset and imposter syndrome. So, get ready to get educated. So, I decided that going through, first of all, the definition of what a scarcity mindset is would be a perfect start. So, a scarcity mindset is a psychological state where a person perceives that there is never enough of something, whether it's money, resources, opportunities. It often leads to feelings of anxiety, stress, and a constant sense of lacking and causing people to focus on what they don't have and what they don't want rather than what they do have and what they do want. So this sort of mindset kind of puts you off track from what really matters and what really you should be focusing on, because this mindset can be really limiting and determinantal to personal growth and relationships and decision making. Um, so people with a scarcity mindset tend to over-focus on limitations. They often feel like there isn't enough of something and may struggle to see opportunities when they arises, because it sets a limitation to what you are able to perceive and what you are able to believe to be possible for yourself. And they also make decisions based on fear because they are afraid of losing out, or they might make choices out of desperation, which can lead to poor outcomes. And then it's also like experiencing stress and anxiety and the constant worry and feeling of not enough. And it really takes a toll on mental and emotional health. So it's also the fourth characteristic would be to have a fixed outlook. They believe that resources like money, success, opportunities are finite, not infinite, but finite, which can hinder their creativity and problem-solving abilities. So this mindset contrasted with an abundance mindset or a millionaire mindset, where a person believes that there is enough resources and opportunities for everyone, leading to more positive and forward-thinking behaviors. So it's the complete opposite of what Aaron just talked about. So if you do relate to scarcity mindset, shift it and focus on the millionaire mindset. I hope you guys took some notes from the call with Aaron. I sure did. I took a whole bunch of notes because our goal is to shift our mindset from lack until to abundance. So I have come up with five different examples, like real life examples, when it comes to scarcity mindset, which I don't hope that you can relate to it. I don't, but I hope it makes sense. So the first example would be financial scarcity. So imagine someone who is living paycheck to paycheck, constantly worried about bills and expensive. They might take out high interest loans and credit cards to cover immediate needs, even though they are aware that this could lead to a long-term financial strain. The scarcity mindset causes them to focus on the short-term solution, the survival. Like, what can I do right now uh, to be able to survive? So it often leads to poor decision making, um, rather than planning for a long-term financial security or exploring new ways to generate income. So a real life scenario, people living in poverty and lower income situations may experience the scarcity mindset more accurately. They focus so much on meeting immediate needs like paying rent or buying groceries that they can't consider long-term financial planning or investing. So this is kind of what we want to move away from, especially when we have Sage Master. And then we also have time scarcity. So example, a person juggling multiple responsibilities like work, family, social life, etc., might feel that there is not enough time to do everything. And they may become overwhelmed by their schedule and start saying yes to everything just to keep up, even if it means sacrificing their personal well-being or passions. This can lead to burnout or a sense of not accomplishing what truly matters. And for this example, I can say that I do relate to this. So even though if you don't relate to all five examples, like there is probably something that you can relate to, and that's exactly what needs to be worked on. So we also have real life scenario where someone working multiple jobs or managing a household might constantly feel like there is not enough time to rest, leading to stress, fatigue, and frustration. Um, yeah. And then we have the third example, which is opportunity scarcity. Someone applying for jobs might feel that the job market is extremely competitive, leading them to believe that there are only a few opportunities available. And this can cause them to settle for positions that don't align with their goals or capabilities. Um, so to avoid applying to roles that seem too good to be true. And for example, when you have a real life scenario in industries where job opportunities are limited, people might refrain from applying for a position that they really want because they feel like there is no way they'll get it. I'm sure that we've all been in this situation before at some point or another. So the fourth example is relationship scarcity. So a person with a scarcity mindset about relationships might feel that love or companionship is rare or difficult to find. So, as a result, they might stay in unhealthy relationships out of fear of being alone, or they might rush into relationships without considering compatibility or mutual respect. So a real life scenario would be someone constantly anxious about finding the one might settle for someone who isn't right for them, thinking that they won't find any better. So that was relationship scarcity. And then we also have the last one, which is resource scarcity in business. So a business owner might believe that there is only a small market share available for their product and become highly defensive about competitors. This mindset can prevent collaboration, innovation, or even taking risks to grow their business because they feel that any success of others takes away from their opportunities. So, a real life example in the startups, the scarcity mindset might lead founders to hard resources or avoid partnership because they see other companies as rivals rather than recognizing potential mutual benefits. So, even if you relate to those or you don't, we're going to talk about how to overcome scarcity mindset. And this is something that you can use even though you relate to the examples or you don't, because this right here is personal growth itself. So to shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, there is a few steps that can be taken. For example, practicing gratitude. I know Erin and I have been talking about that for probably on every call that we do have. So gratitude is as simple as focusing on what you already have rather than what you lack. And this can really shift your perspective and shift your uh, the way that you view life. And it will shift your energy as well, and it will make you feel so good. And when you feel good, you get better. The other point will be to challenge limiting beliefs. So I know Erin has been talking about this one as well. So constantly reframe negative thoughts. Like, for example, if you have a thought that comes to you like this, I'll never get a promotion, turn it into something more positive. Or provocative ones. I can work on improving my skills to increase my chances of promotion. So you don't have to be totally delusional about it, but you can pinpoint what you're able to do to improve that thought. So it might feel a bit more real. The other thing I would recommend to do is to focus on opportunities. So rather than worrying about what you don't have, focus on creating or discovering new opportunities. You also have collaboration with others. You can share resources, ideas, and support and see the potential for mutual benefit. And that's exactly what we are doing in our group. The last thing is obviously prioritize self-care. So acknowledge your stress and take steps to manage it through mindfulness, exercise, or rest. So I hope this was useful. I am not done yet though. We also have imposter syndrome. So this one is a bit interesting. Um, so let's dive into the definition of it. So imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern. So both of these are mindsets, different mindsets. It's a pattern where individuals doubt their abilities, skills, or accomplishments, feeling like a fraud despite evidence of their success. So even though you have accomplished a lot, you don't feel like you've accomplished a lot, and it's hard for you to take responsibility for it. So people experiencing imposter syndrome believe that they don't deserve their achievements and fear of being exposed as incompetent or unworthy. So even if they have objectively achieved a lot, individuals with imposter syndrome often attribute their success to either external forces, luck, timing, help from others, all that above acknowledging their own hard work or talent. So the key characteristics of imposter syndrome would be self-doubt, persistent feeling of inadequacy despite accomplishments, fear of being exposed, the belief that others will discover you're not as capable as they think you are, attributing success to external forces, thinking that luck or others' help is what contributed to your success rather than your own skills and efforts. We also have perfectionism, setting extensively high standards and fearing failure, which can create anxiety or prevent taking risks. The last one, discounting success. So feeling like you don't deserve your achievements or recognition, often dismissing praise or feedback. Does these different mindsets make sense so far? I think it's very nice just to be aware of what kind of mindsets there are and what kind of thinking patterns there are out there. So whenever you catch yourself in one of them, you can flip it over. So I have four real life examples of imposter syndrome, and the first one would be a workplace example. So scenario, Sarah has recently been promoted to a Manner managerial. Wow. So a manager position at her company. She's highly capable and has demonstrated leadership skills, but despite this, she constantly feels like she don't belong in that role. So when her team looks to her for guidance, she worries that they'll figure out she's not as qualified as they think. So even though her work consistently proves them otherwise, or yeah, proves otherwise. So the takeaway from this is that Sarah may experience imposter syndrome because she undervalues her abilities and attributes her promotion to luck or chance instead of recognizing her skills and achievements. Then we also have academic example. So this was definitely me going back to school. John is a student at a prestigious university. He consistently earns high marks, but he believes he only succeeds because the grading system is lenient or because of his professors are biased towards him. So John doubts that he belongs at such a high level school and is terrified that one day his professors or classmate will discover that he isn't as smart as they think. So the takeaway for this one is that John is struggling with imposter syndrome because he attributes his academic success to factors outside of himself rather than acknowledging his hard work and intellect. So we also have a creative example. So Maria is an artist who paints, whose paintings have been sold in galleries. However, despite positive feedback, she feels that her work is not good enough and that she only gets praise because the art world is subjective or because she had the right connections. So she worries that others will find out she isn't a real artist. So the takeaway from this one is that Maria's imposter syndrome is making her dismiss her artistic talents and contributions, leading her to feel unworthy of recognition that she receives. The fourth one, entrepreneurial example. So this one is probably more likely for us to relate to. If we don't, that's great. So Alex started his own business and it has grown successfully, but he constantly feels like a fraud. When clients and colleagues compliment him on his success, Alex feels uneasy and thinks that people are just being polite or that he has gotten lucky. He worries that eventually the business will fail and people will realize that he wasn't cut to be an entrepreneur. So the takeaway from this one is that Alex's experience with imposter syndrome is rooted in his fear of being exposed as not truly deserving of his success, even though he worked hard to build his business. So why does imposter syndrome happen? So first of all, we have perfectionism. Setting unrealistic high standards can lead to chronic self-doubt and fear of failure. The other one would be comparing yourself to others. Constantly measuring yourself against others can make you feel inadequate, even if you are doing well by your own standards. Also, we have early experiences. So if someone grew up in an environment where their success was frequently overlooked or downplayed, this might develop a habit of dismissing their own achievements. Then we also have societal expectations, cultural norms, or pressures can exacerbate imposter feelings. So especially if someone feels like they don't fit in the mold for success in their field. So last but not least, how to overcome this. So acknowledge your accomplishments, take the time to reflect on what you've achieved and recognize your role in those successes. So, for example, what I like to do, I like to write down weekly wins. So, for example, every week I sit down and then I count my wins. So whatever I felt like I won this week, the last 7 days, I write down. So after it's gone some time, let's say 3 months, you can actually just scroll and you can see that you've actually accomplished a lot. And this is a great way to acknowledge them. Another way you can talk about your weekly wins. So talk about it, sharing your feelings with a trusted friend, mentor, or colleague that can help you gain perspective. So just reflect on it and then talk about it. We also have reframe negative thoughts. So instead of thinking I'm not good enough, try to think I'm still learning and that's okay. Otherwise, we have accept imperfection because nothing is perfect and nothing will ever be perfect. Then we are human beings, which makes us imperfect, and that's where the beauty lies of it. So everyone makes mistakes, and accepting imperfection as a normal part of growth can reduce anxiety and self-doubt. So you can also focus on growth and not perfectionism. Shift your focus from avoiding failure to embracing the learning process. So I also wrote a few takeaways from both scarcity mindset and imposter syndrome. So the scarcity mindset creates a cycle of anxiety and limits potential. So common areas where it manifests include finances, time, opportunities, relationships, and business. So overcoming scarcity mindset involves embracing abundance, focusing on opportunities, and rethinking fears or limiting beliefs. While imposter syndrome can affect anyone, no matter how successful you are, it's rooted in self-doubt and the fear of being exposed as a fraud. Common triggers include perfectionism, comparing yourself to others, and not acknowledging your own role in the success. So, strategies to overcome imposter syndrome includes reflecting on your achievements, talking about it with others, and not but lastly, and least but not last but not least, embracing imperfection. Um, so I felt like that it went a bit hand in hand. I just thought it was a great topic to kind of go through real quick, but that was it for me today. So I hope that was valuable in some way. Um, do you have any thoughts to share?
I loved it. And I put in the chat that we should totally do weekly wins
Yeah.
in the that's such a good idea. I love that you do
It is a great idea to kind of acknowledge what you've actually achieved because in on a week's basis, there is actually like a whole bunch of small wins that you recognize then and there, but you forget about them. And
that.
it's easy for us to remember what we failed at rather than what we actually accomplished. So that's something that I did that for I don't know how many months, but I did it for many months. And I could just scroll. I could just scroll, and it was such a great feeling to be able to look back at it and like actually remember, oh, I actually did that. I did that. I did that. I accomplished that. And this and that in such a short period of time. So it's actually very helpful, and it keeps you in the state of gratitude as well.
Like the weekly part about it. So Kamari and I have a jar, and like when I'm in New York when we're together, because he's with his dad 2 weeks out of the month. So we do monthly. Well, I have a sticky pad and then a pin by this jar, and you have to like at least once a week just go and we'll either acknowledge something about each other or we put like a win in there. And then at the end of the month, or if he's having a bad day, I would say, okay, go grab something out of the jar, and you would see him like light up. So that reminded me of that. I was like, I love that.
That's a good idea,
I love
though.
the
I
weekly.
mean,
I love the weekly part of that though.
yeah, you can be very creative with those kind of stuff. But I do recommend that. Just writing
Um,
like putting a note on your phone, just filling it with wins. Whenever you feel like you wanted something, like even if it's really small or um, whatever, just write it down and then go through it once a week. Hmm. I took a lot of notes from you, but I was writing real quick, so it doesn't look too great.
Okay. I was I want to see your presentation because I was taking notes on your recap, but you moved it too fast. But I just wrote in really big letters, awareness is key.
I'm gonna post it in the group because I thought it was a good presentation. I didn't have or I utilized ChatGPT because you kind of reminded me of how much information you can actually get from ChatGPT. And I just thought it was so good because it came up with these real life examples. And like even though if you don't re relate to all of them, like there's different like imposter syndrome and scarcity mindset can kick in at different topics or different situations and so on. So it's not like you're always in that mindset, but it can pop up here and there. So it's just when you catch yourself in that thinking pattern, okay, well, now you know exactly what to do, how to shift it. Hmm.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And you've planted the seeds. So if we've never thought about imposter syndrome, now like when stuff like
They're
that occurs,
aware.
we'll be like, okay, now I can completely relate to that. It's all about planting the seeds,
Yeah.
making yourself aware.
Yep. Well, I think that's it for today, unless you have any questions, Hedda. No. Okay.
Hedda, are you all packed for Barcelona? I'm not either. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one.
I don't think anyone has packed yet.
I looked at the weather today. It looks like it's going to be like in the 60s. So not really hot, not really
Yeah.
cold.
I think it's gonna
You
be,
getting the idea.
yeah. Well, you're probably used to hot. To me, that's an upgrade, but I don't know if that's gonna be an upgrade to you.
Oh, it's 94 degrees here today. So it's not, it's going to
Yeah.
feel amazing. I'm ready for it.
Well, all right. This was a good call, and I'll post the presentation. And then we'll speak soon.
All right. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you.
Bye.